Hey everyone, and welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. Today we're doing a reading on your dreams and goals. So if you have a specific dream in mind or a goal that you want to achieve, then this reading will help you clarify if you're on the right path and if there's anything that you need to know in order to achieve that dream. So as always, if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my content, then please subscribe to my channel. What I'll be asking you to do is to pick from one of these three piles. So here we have pile 1 with the quartz, pile 2 with the rose quartz, and pile 3 with the amethyst. And when you pick, please make sure that you do it with your intuition. And once you've picked the pile that speaks most to you, then you can fast forward and get your own personal reading using the timestamps in the description below. So I'll see you guys there. Okay, group 1, welcome to your reading. So today, as I said, we're answering the question, will you achieve the goal or the dream that you want, and what kind of insight or guidance can we get for you today? So group 1, I've pulled these 4 main cards for you guys, and then these are the clarifying cards. And just to kind of tee up the reading, what I want to tell you is that you have a very successful future in store for you. You guys really got positive cards. And if you're even wondering, am I going to achieve this? Is it worth the effort? Then the answer is absolutely yes. So I'll go through these one by one and give you a little bit more detail. So group 1, the first card I got is the 5 of Wands. And what I can see is that I feel like you have been going through a little bit of a struggle or a little bit of a conflict. And it could even be like an internal conflict, like something where you've been working and it just doesn't feel like things are materializing as quickly as you want them to, and maybe you're kind of going back and forth, like, should I do this, should I not? But I really encourage you to stick with it and to push through, because it's definitely going to be worth it. I can say that with 100% certainty. I feel like you guys are very intuitive. So you got the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is all about really looking within and making the most of your intuition during this time. So I feel like there might be kind of external factors or forces that you're focusing on, and what I'd like you to do is actually focus a little bit more within and ground yourself and center yourself and really make that part of your practice. So I know I talk a lot about meditation on my channel, but if you're not already meditating every day, I do think it's something that is worth doing. I know a lot of people say, you don't need to meditate every day, but for you guys, group 1, just with these cards and with the goal that you're trying to achieve, I feel like it would be really beneficial for you. Because what I feel is that you will actually get inspiration and you'll actually open your channel through meditating. And so I know that you guys are intuitive naturally, but I want you to kind of heighten your abilities. And I can say this from my own personal experience. If you're meditating, if you're journaling, if you're really carving out that time for self-reflection and energy work, you're going to get there 10 times faster. Either way, you're still going to be successful, but I feel like you can get to the level that you want to get to more quickly if you're doing some of this intuitive work. And so I also got the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups suggests to me that, you have this goal, you have this dream, whatever it is, there are going to be some partnerships that come up, like things that you are going to work with other people on. So even if this is like a solo thing that you're working on mainly by yourself, I do think I see some kind of like collaborations happening, some kind of positive energy where you're benefiting from other people coming in and helping you with your cause or your mission. And it could be something as simple as, the idea that comes to my mind is like an Instagram giveaway, partnering with a friend, a colleague, someone who understands like your creative energy and your intuitive energy, someone who helps you and respects that. And I feel that through partnering with this person, even if it's just a quick thing, a once in a lifetime kind of thing, I really think that can kind of help you go to the next level. So even if it's not like an overnight change, I think that it will definitely help you get better visibility. And I also would really encourage you to see this as more of a long-term thing. So really have your eyes open for any opportunities that are available to you. People might reach out to you and say, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? Hey, can I interview you for this thing? And you might think, I don't really know. But I would really encourage you guys to do this. I think that it's going to help your visibility, and I think it's going to help put you on the path to achieve your goal and your dream with more success. And what I want to say is I also got the Queen of Cups. And this is very connected to your intuition and your creativity. So I see that you have this immense power for intuition, for creativity, for abundance, and also quite a feminine energy. So I feel like whatever it is that you're working on, it makes people feel quite strong in themselves. Like, the idea I have is that you're making other people feel strong in their womanhood and their femininity. And if you don't relate to that, then that's okay. You can kind of put it to the side. But I feel that you are a strong person and you're helping other people find inner strength too. So definitely showcasing your vulnerability is also going to be important. I know that sometimes if your dream causes you to be more of a public face or a public figure, everyone wants to do things perfectly and everything has to be edited perfectly and all of that stuff. But I would actually kind of throw some of that out the window, and I think that I would really ground myself in being authentic, being true to myself, and showing your authentic self. So if you are right now kind of trying to seem perfect or make everything perfect, you don't have to. Just remember that. Just remember you don't have to. It's okay if you kind of mess up and you leave some of that stuff in your end product, whether it's a video or whether it's something else. But I would really encourage you to kind of showcase that. I often use YouTube as an example because I know we have YouTube here as a great platform and everyone's watching it. Let's say that you're making YouTube videos. I feel like being vulnerable, not necessarily sharing all of the skeletons in your closet, but sharing something, sharing how you're feeling. If you're feeling a little bit down or a little bit less peaceful than you want to, I actually think that vocalizing that and sharing that with your community, and then sharing some tips and tricks on what you're doing to kind of get to the next level or do the next thing or repair and restore, I feel will be really helpful. And I think that people are going to look to you as someone who inspires them and as someone who is just beautiful and purposeful. And so I feel like if you're very intentional about saying what your goals are and what your dreams are and how you're working to achieve it, I think that will help you rise faster. So I also picked these 4 clarifying cards, and they're all super positive. So I'm going to go through them and talk a little bit about how this clarifies the first cards that I pulled for you guys. So here we have the Star. The Star is an amazing card. It's one of the best cards in the tarot deck. And what it tells me is that this conflict, or maybe this kind of energy of feeling kind of stuck in the mud or a little bit slow right now, it's going to pass. So I hope that that's music to your ears, because if you have been feeling a little bit like, oh, I feel really tired, or I don't feel that motivated, or, things just seem extra hard right now, the good thing is that it's going to pass. And, the energy of the Star really lightens the conflict or the struggle that you might be feeling. And I would encourage you, if you feel this is a struggle that you have with people around you, then just stay very grounded in your purpose. That's really what I want you guys to do, is focus on your purpose. And as long as you do that, I am 100% sure that you'll be very, very successful. So with the Star, I see in you a very intuitive person, as I said before, someone who is caring, who is actually filling other people's cups, so to speak. And this is what the imagery of the Star evokes. Now is the time to really embrace your creative energy. So if you find yourself having creative ideas and ideas that are coming out of left field, or even potentially channeling ideas, because I think you guys can definitely do that too, make sure you write them down, make sure that you take note of them and act on them. So if you are getting any intuitive messages or just creative ideas, really act on them. It can be something as small as, your next video idea, or it can be a business idea. It really doesn't matter. But especially at this time that you're receiving this reading, I would say over the next few months, your channel is kind of open. Like, you are inviting in intuitive messages, and I would really make the most of that, because that's not something that's available to everyone, and it is available to you, and there is a reason that you picked this deck, this pile, these cards. So really get into that energetic work and get into the intuitive messages that you can receive. It's really going to help you guys. You also got the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is all about this seed or the germination of an idea. So I feel like you are still at the beginning of your journey. And I think that with this dream or with this goal, I think it's going to just blossom. So I see a lot of positivity. Like, if it is, for example, a business that you want to build, I don't see it happening overnight. I think it's going to take some time for sure. But this is the most positive card you could have gotten for the stage that you're at right now. I think that you've kind of discovered this new side of yourself, and you're putting it to life. You're bringing it to life. It's literally growing like a flower, and the more that it grows and the more that it blossoms and blooms, step by step by step, it's going to be extraordinarily successful. And I mean, I honestly think this is kind of, it's like you're planting a seed, and this will last you for the next like 10 years. So I also encourage you to think about the long game in terms of this dream and this goal. It's not something that is just going to pass. It's not something that's just overnight. It's something that you're going to have to invest yourself in over a long course of time. And I definitely feel like it's going to spread its own new wings, and it will probably even take you on paths that you didn't even think imaginable. So I really want you to not only focus on here and now. Like, here and now is great. It's wonderful to be present. I'm a big advocate of that. But also think a little bit about the long term. Like, how would you want this business or this idea or this goal to show up in your life if it was 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Because I honestly think that this goal and this dream that you're working on is uncovering a new side of you. And I think that that side of you is going to be a lasting side. It's going to become you fully, wholly, 100% authentic, you and yourself. This goal or this dream that you have in mind, it's a very good reflection of your true soul and your true self. So I just want you to think a little bit about the long term as well. So you also got the Ace of Swords. So as many of you know by now, swords are about logic and about intellect. And I see that you have this very creative side. And I think the Ace of Swords is a reminder that, especially when you're going into partnerships with other people, keep your wits about you, keep your logic about you. Not anything bad, it's all good. But what I'm saying is, make sure that all the details are set when you're doing stuff like collaborations, when you are engaging in business opportunities, signing offer letters. That's the time when you have to actually pull out of the creativity and pull in more to the structure and to the focus. So I do think that you have a strong business mind. Through this dream, you are growing it, and it's going to continue to blossom, as I said. And so just remember that you have this intuitive side, you have this creative side, but in the partnership specifically, and when you're like signing legal contracts, all of that stuff, just make sure that you stay very focused. And I think the other thing is, this card is a very good sign for you guys for staying focused on this goal. So I don't know if you're kind of a creative person where sometimes you have a lot of ideas and some of them you see the fruits of your labor, but others of them not so much. But I feel like with this goal and this dream, you actually will see the fruits of your labor. It will be for the long term. So stay focused. I think it's an important thing to remember as you go through this journey. So last we got the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is an awesome sign for you guys because it is like a wish fulfilled card. So whatever it is that you have in mind, you are going to achieve it 100%. I can say it with certainty. Really, I feel that, it's actually going to become bigger than what you might even want it to be. So you might be thinking of it like you might contain it in a certain way in your mind. And I think actually it's going to be bigger than what you think it's going to be. So I think that, with these cards, you guys are on this amazing path, and I just encourage you to stay very grounded in your intuition. Make the most of this time, especially over the next few months. Make sure that you're tapping into your creativity and acting on all of those ideas. And then last reminder, just stay logical whenever you're doing business dealings with other people. I think that you do naturally, but just remember, sometimes you actually do need to pull yourself out of the creativity a little bit in order to make sure that all the details are set. So group 1, I am so proud of you guys. I know that you're going to do great, and I hope that this reading resonated with you, and thank you so much for watching today. Okay, group 2, welcome to your reading. So as I mentioned, we'll be talking about your dreams and your goals and whether you're on the path to achieve them, and how we can help you get some intuitive messages so that you can make sure you're maximizing all of your actions and everything that you're working on. So I'm going to do a little bit more of an organic reading with your pile, but these are the 4 main cards I picked for you, and then I also picked some clarifying cards for you guys. So what I can see is, first I got the 2 of Pentacles. The 2 of Pentacles is actually about a new beginning. It's often also about things coming in, things going out. It's like this natural kind of organic energy that's flowing in and out. And I feel like you guys are actually going through a transformation, and this is going to come up a lot more in the other cards that I got for you. But the second I started shuffling your cards, I was seeing this image of like a cloud. I feel like this time has probably been a little bit difficult for you. So I don't know if, you've lost someone who was close to you, whether that was a physical passing over or whether it was a relationship that broke up or something like that. I do feel there's kind of like a dark cloud. But I want you to know that there is a light for you. I saw this, and I know you're going to think I'm crazy, but I do see visions as well. So I saw this woman coming in, very beautiful, very angelic, and really feeling like, this kind of had to happen for you to transform. And this is very emphasized with the sun. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the other cards too, but the sun means that whatever visions or dreams that you have right now, it's really important that you go at them with full force. And I think that this is part of the transformation that you're going through. So not to gloss over the 2 of Pentacles, I think here the 2 of Pentacles shows me that you put a lot of effort and energy into something, and I do see that the time has been a bit weird for you. Like it might feel a little bit stop, start, and things not exactly coming to fruition in the way that you want them to. I do also feel like you guys have been through something, like some kind of pain, some kind of loss, and I'm of course really sorry that you've had to deal with that. What I want you to know is I actually see a lot of opportunities on the horizon for you. I think you have a dream or a goal, but I'm tempted to say I'd like you to get a little bit clearer on what exactly it is that you want to do. And once you're very clear on that, I would like you to manifest. Really focus on manifestation, and we can talk more about that in just a second. But my general feeling is like you're going through this big transformation. It's something that has to happen. It's going to align you more with your spiritual self and your spiritual purpose. This is something that couldn't come at a better time, especially because I think your transformation is actually mirroring the transformation that the whole world is going through. And so it's actually the right time for you to go through it, even if at times it's felt a little bit difficult or a little bit painful. But here we have the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups for me is showing that it's like you need to cross this water, but it's like the river is raging and you're kind of afraid of making the next step or making the next move. And what this shows is it's like on the other side of the water, you're seeing this beautiful, successful life, and it's really just a question of crossing it. And this to me makes a lot of sense because I also got the card Death, and death, although it may sound a little bit dark, is actually about transformation. And so I think that you've gone through something that's been a bit of a struggle for you. That's at least what I feel. And I think that that's kind of muddied your goal or your dream in some kind of way. And I think that had to happen because I feel that you're almost picking up the pieces and you're looking at the pieces and you're thinking, are all of these serving me? Like, this is a point in your life when you're actually reevaluating. And I think that through this reevaluation exercise, you get to the other side of that river that right now seems very tumultuous and very scary. With death, I do see that there are going to be things that feel tough at times, but this is an amazing transformation for you. I feel like it's something you absolutely have to go through, because once you go through it, you're at the other side and you are going to be very successful. And there are a lot of good things, by the way, in these clarifying cards that I saw, which I want to share with you guys. But first, let's talk a little bit about the Page of Pentacles, which is the fourth card I picked for you. The beauty of the Page of Pentacles is it's like, you know that you have a dream or a goal, but it's kind of hanging there. And the reason I'm saying that is here if you look at this card very closely, the page is reaching out to a pentacle. He knows it's available to him, but he's not grabbing it, and he's not just like smothering himself all over the pentacle. He's reflecting. He's taking the time to understand what's within himself as well as what is without. And so what I want you guys to take away from this is self-discovery is kind of the theme for you guys. I feel like you might have a goal, you might have a dream, and I don't think it's overnight. I think it's far away, to be honest. And the reason that it's far away is that there's more inner work to be done. And so instead of looking out and thinking about all of the stuff that you have to do, I do want you first to look within. And once you get really clear on who you are and what is your purpose at this point in your life, because what I feel is that this is a very pivotal point in your life, and it's not that you will do something right or wrong. Anything you do is going to be right because it's going to teach you the lessons that you need in order to get closer to this pentacle. By the way, the Page of Pentacles is also a very wonderful energy if you are embarking on something new. So you might be a little bit unclear on exactly your strategy or your plan, but I think that that's perfectly okay because this is a good opportunistic card. It's showing that you're going on a journey. You're really just starting the journey. And I think that there are going to be some things along the way where it's a struggle, and I want to address that quickly now. So I did pull the Three of Swords for you guys. And just based on the energy I was feeling at the beginning of the reading, I'm not too surprised that I pulled it. So like I said, I think you have gone through something where it's felt quite difficult and quite hard. And to be honest, I think that there will be a few more things like that along the road. But when those things happen, what I want you to remember is that it's all part of your transformation. If you think about it this way, and I think about my own life this way, so maybe it will help you. The world is a school. We come here for education. So there are certain things that happen to us to teach us lessons. There are other things that kind of are just nudges along our path. And I really feel for you guys that there's going to be things that come to teach you lessons. And even if situations feel quite difficult or quite hard in that specific moment, they're actually transforming you. They're helping you deal with difficult stuff, whether that be conflict, whether that be loss, pain, depression, anxiety. All of that stuff is on the table. And I think it's how you deal with it that you show yourself that you're actually very persistent, that you're willing to persevere. And remember, there is this light at the end of the tunnel. And I know I've showed you the sun, but I want you to look at it again. And the reason I'm asking you to do that is because the sun has this beautiful healing energy. And it's also about letting go of the things that don't serve you right now. And so group 2, I do feel like you might be holding on to some stuff that is not aligned with your higher purpose. There might be some skins that you need to shed, or people or things in your life that don't serve you. And I want you to just let them go and be okay with letting them go. Because once you do let them go, you're allowing yourself to go through this transformation, and the sun is there for you. It's waiting on the other side of the water. I know it seems scary to let stuff go, but you actually have to, because that is what is going to help you bask in the beauty and the transformation and the transcendence of the sun and this amazing energy. So you also have the King of Wands. What I see for you guys is I actually feel that you're going to become very powerful. And I'm not necessarily saying that about money, although that definitely could be on the table. But I feel with the King of Wands, it's a very creative energy, but also a very powerful energy. It's like the energy when someone walks into a room and they have a presence and they just command the room and they command the space. I feel that this is in your future. It's part of your destiny. And so even if you have been through something where it feels a little difficult or a little hard, or you're kind of down right now, I don't see it lasting for long, but I see you doing this inner work, and through doing that inner work, the sun is coming out and you're actually holding on to this power. And it's a power that you wouldn't have if you hadn't done this hard work. You know what I mean? So I see so much goodness for you, and I'm excited to also tell you you got the Six of Cups. Six of Cups is very creative, very much about giving and receiving. There's partnership there. There's things from the past that you need to evaluate. Does it serve me? Does it not? But once you evaluate those things, a lot of beauty in this card, a lot of hope, and definitely just kind of scanning. You have a few cups here. You have the wand energy here, and you also have the transformational energy. So I feel like you're just at the brink of the transformation. I feel like it's happening right now. You are kind of feeling in a difficult place right now. It's not going to last. Instead, I think that it's showing you like who you're meant to be. So to answer the question about the goal, the aspiration, the dream that you have, what I would say is I do expect some conflict. I do expect something that feels like loss. But I feel like the goal or the dream that you have is not where it needs to be yet. And so that's why at the beginning I was saying to you, get really clear on what your goal is or what your dream is, because I feel that through this transformation it might actually change a little bit. And I think it will take on a new shape and a new form that will actually serve you in a way where it's guiding you and your higher purpose. So just keep that in mind. So group 2, to summarize, remember there is a light. It's shining bright. Remember, there are going to be some difficult things you have to deal with, but it's okay, because at the other side of this river or this waterfall or whatever it is, it's right there for you. And, once you go through that stuff, you are going to be so full of creativity, so full of life, and just remember the sun. The sun is there for you. So I hope you guys stay persistent, stay calm, just keep going, believe in yourself. Do that manifestation. It is important for you guys, and I'm proud of you, and I know that you'll get through this, and I know that you will get something that is better than the goal that you think you want today. Thank you for listening today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Okay, group 3, welcome to your reading. So as a reminder, we are answering the question today, will I achieve the dream or the goal that I have hopes for? And what kind of intuitive messages do you need in order to do that? I'm going to do a little bit more of an organic reading, but these are the 4 main cards that I picked for you guys, and then these 4 are clarifying cards. I will go through them one by one, but I'll also kind of mix up the order a little bit, so just bear with me. The first card I got for you guys is Strength. Now, Strength is a wonderful card because it is ultimately all about persistence. So in the traditional image of the Strength card, it's like this woman and she's holding the mouth of a lion, and nobody really knows if she's holding the jaws open, if she's keeping the jaws closed, if she's in control or if she's not. But in any case, it symbolizes coming to terms or coming to peace with our inner lion, our inner ferocity, our inner motivational energy, which can be both sharp at times and soft at other times. But in any case, it does speak to being able to kind of tame yourself or really get to know yourself. And it does often come with a lot of creativity, a lot of perseverance, and a lot of intuition. And I feel that for you guys, strength is something that is just the theme of this reading, because I feel like you have used some of it, but through this journey of getting to this goal or this dream that you have, I think that strength is going to be a much bigger theme than it has been in the past. And what I want to say is, when I was shuffling your cards, I instantly got this very excited energy. Someone who's like a new entrepreneur or has a dream or has a goal and is kind of like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And I was kind of laughing to myself because I feel like you guys are very focused on the end goal. And what I would like you to do is think a little bit more about the stuff that's happening in between, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that happens in between before you get to the end goal. The end goal is not going to be an overnight thing. It's actually going to take a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of applied focus. And so I feel that where you are right now is you're very excited, your engine is roaring, you're all fired up and ready to go. And I love that energy, and I want you to hold on to that. And while holding on to that, I also want you to embrace the more logical, strategic, and planning side, which you will have to do in order to achieve this goal. But before I get into that, let's talk about the Empress, which is actually clarifying strength. So the Empress shows me that you are, as I said, very creative. You have this focus in mind, and it's a goal that you really care about. I think it's something that speaks to you on your innermost level. It's something that you deeply care about yourself. And I feel like that energy is going to percolate. It's going to create like ripples in your community. You are kind of the raindrop, but when raindrop falls on the water and it creates these beautiful rings and it just kind of spreads out from there. I think you're the center of the goal. You're the center of this creative thing that you're working on and building. And from there, it's going to grow and it's going to grow and it's going to grow. I did also get the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a funny card sometimes because the phrase is, round and round the wheel goes, where it ends up, nobody knows. And this is very much true for the Wheel of Fortune. It does signify a change, and the change is usually quite sudden. So I wouldn't be surprised if you leave your job to start your new company or something like that. Or if you just decide one day, I don't really like what I'm doing, I want to do this other thing instead. That is completely on the table when you get the Wheel of Fortune. It also signifies a change in circumstance. So there might be details in your life where you thought something was one way, but it actually turns out to be the other way. That's definitely a probability. This is kind of a reminder, to me at least, that you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket at this time. You do want to have multiple different options available to you and multiple different paths. But at the end of the day, with this goal and this dream that you have, I feel like you guys really care about it, and you know that it's you, it's your authentic self, and you're going to want to drive towards it. So I feel like even if there are moments of instability, which I do see a little bit coming, I think that you are grounding yourself in the goal, and you are so focused on that goal that it's not really going to knock you down for the long term. It's just short passing things that happen here and there. But what I do see is definitely needing to be a little bit more conservative at times in terms of your plans. So I feel that you are very focused on the end goal, like I said, and I kind of want you to focus a little bit more on the steps that are going to happen between now and the end goal. Part of the reason I'm saying that also is the Hierophant. The Hierophant, first of all, is an amazing card because it shows that you're in for a lot of growth and a lot of learning. And I wouldn't be surprised if during this time you actually find mentors and people in your community where you can actually learn and grow from them, and they can teach you good lessons that you can apply back to this aspiration of yours. It also does mean being a little bit more logical and conservative with some of your estimates. So let's say that, as an example, you want to launch a new business and you want to do it in 3 months. Well, maybe it will actually take 6 months. So just remember, during this time, don't get too carried away with excitement and the bright-eyed, bushy-tailed kind of energy. You also want to leave yourself a little bit of a buffer. I do think your goal will take longer than you think it will to achieve, but that's okay, because I think that all of these lessons that come along the way are going to help you create this amazing product or service or whatever it is. If you're selling yourself, you are going to be amazing. I do think that these lessons are feeding directly into making that end thing even better. So just remember that. Now, I do have here the Two of Wands, and Two of Wands is a very good card for strategy. Again, I did say I want you to focus on the steps. You have the overall goal, and now I want you to kind of think month to month, week to week, how am I going to do this? And this is something that not a lot of people want to do because it's very tiring. It takes a lot of mental energy and mental focus, but I really see that being beneficial for you guys. With the Two of Wands, the amazing thing about this card is you have the ability to look out over the horizon and see everything that's coming into your sphere and how you're going to react to those things and how you're going to plan for those things. So I want you to just have a plan in mind, and I do want it to be as menial as month to month, week to week, if possible. If you have that in you, I really do think it would benefit you, instead of kind of just going through this free flow, which I think is what you're doing now. I think the free flow energy is actually great. I want you to hold on to it, but what I can see is at times there's going to be some dips when you're not going to feel as motivated as you do right at this second. And so this plan and the strategy that you have is actually going to help you think ahead. And in thinking ahead, you're actually going to have a buffer for some of those dips, so that when the dip comes or when the loss comes or whatever it is that happens, you already have this in your back pocket. Really leaning upon strategy is going to help you at this time. I did get the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is one of the more depressing cards that I did get in this spread, and what it signifies to me is I feel, again, that you are very focused on the end of the goal, right? Not so much the in-between, and that's okay. And with the strategy, you're definitely going to kind of fix that for yourself, which is good. With the Nine of Swords, I do think there's something along the way that you want, and it's not going to work out exactly the way that you wanted. And I feel that you will think it's a failure. It's actually okay, because I think that from this point where it doesn't work out how you wanted it, you grow as a person. And I see you guys, group 3, as you have this very entrepreneurial vibe. You have this like very bright energy, very innovative as well, by the way. But I think that you're going to learn a lesson along the way that's kind of going to make you grow up more quickly than you might even want to, and it will help you mature. And I think that this lesson is necessary for you in order to get the end result. But I do, by the way, see you achieving the thing that you want to. I definitely think that you will. I just think that it's not going to be easy. And I think right now you're so focused on the excitement, you're not necessarily seeing how hard it's going to be at times. If you are doing something like, for example, in the entrepreneurial field, I mean, that's a thankless job. You're doing something that you absolutely love, but there's going to be some knocks along the way. And because of, the creativity and the strategy that you're going to have in place, that stuff is going to be there to lift you back up. And the mission and the purpose behind what you're doing is going to lift you back up. So just be prepared that not every single thing is going to work out perfectly. The Five of Cups basically says the same thing, so I don't need to repeat myself, but basically what it's saying is you feel like you have all these great assets and all this great stuff on the table, but there's inevitably always something that kind of falls down and doesn't work out the way that you want it to. So just be prepared for that. I think it's coming, but again, I think it's necessary, because I think it's going to make you into a more mature pursuer of the goal and the aspiration that you are desiring. And like I said, I do see you being successful. So I actually see this lesson as being very important to the success. So when it happens, I just want you to remember it's happening for a reason, and that without that lesson, your product, your business, your goal, whatever it is, it wouldn't be as strong if this had not happened. So just remember that, and even if at the time it feels kind of sucky, you're still going to get what you want at the end of the day. So I still see you achieving this thing. And here we have the Six of Wands. So we can definitely end the reading on a positive note. The Six of Wands is a a wonderful card. I definitely see success for you guys. A lot of the messages that I give you are intuitive as well as from the cards, and I feel like you guys do have that spirit that you need to achieve what you want. So just remember, it is going to take some strength. There are going to be some hardships along the way, but at the end of the day, things are happening and you can't necessarily prepare for every single thing, but you have your creativity, you have your strategy, and you're grounding yourself in your mission. Doing that is the most important thing you can do. If you believe in your mission, you are going to achieve the goal. And yes, the goal might kind of transform a little bit along the way, but I actually see it being similar to how you think of it right now. So I don't see it transforming a lot, but I just want you to think about all the steps along the way in order to achieve it. And I think you guys are going to knock it out of the park. So I do see you being extremely successful as long as you're willing to deal with some of the ups and downs that come. And just remember, there's going to be some stuff that happens that you don't really expect, but I think it's okay. And I think it's, again, going to help you mature and help you grow up more quickly than maybe you even want to. But I see a lot of success for you guys. So I'm really happy for you. Thank you so much for listening. Please leave me a comment below if you have any ideas or requests for other readings. Wish you guys an amazing day. Thank you.